Before Hurricane Katrina hit with its devastating Category 5 winds and rain, the magazine traveled to Florida to interview Bob Vila, who showed us a special home he's building that could withstand a hurricane of such incredible force. Of course, it's too late for Louisiana and Mississippi, but with much of the East Coast and Gulf region always in harm's way, perhaps this idea could be used as a blueprint for the future.
Hurricane Charlie kind of was one of those unusual hurricanes that's very small and compact and has a lot of twisters in it, and it hit Punta Gorda right between the eyes. The house that was on this location had been built in 1961, and it did not survive.
When the roof blew off, the contents, most of the contents and everything landed here in the canal, including the refrigerator was in the backyard. I actually wound up crawling on my belly to keep from getting cut up by debris and making it to my neighbor's house with safe haven. It was kind of my worst nightmare. Didn't expect anything to happen like that.
This year, after the hurricanes, I really wanted to do something that involved not just helping out, but kind of showcasing or demonstrating construction technologies that can really help a house survive a bad hurricane. Well, the Bob Vila's Home Again program has been on the air for 15 years. This is actually our 16th season, and it's my 26th year on television. So I've built a lot of houses on TV.
Time to give it a scraping and start again.
When we started our construction project here, the lot had been scraped, and we started from scratch. This is a house that's been built in partnership with a federal agency called FLASH, which is the Alliance for Safe Housing. The house looks like a Florida house with the, tile roof and the kind of strong terracotta color, the windows and everything. But there are a lot of details to the house that are really special. In earlier hurricanes like Andrew back in '82, you had a lot of houses that lost their roofs because the wind just blew all the roof trusses right off. The trusses are the framework of the roof. And the key there is to tie them down to these walls really, really stiffly. So all these walls have a metal bar that protrudes from the top. And when the trusses are laid down on them, that metal bar wraps around each and every one of these trusses. The plywood, instead of being half-inch thick, is actually 5/8 of an inch thick, that much more stiffness to it. And it's plywood, it's not any other kind of wood product. It's traditional plywood, which has a great deal of strength. Then you've got the traditional tile roofs. And during the last hurricane, they referred to the tiles as Spanish missiles, because they would fly off these roofs and then break through a window or something like that if the window wasn't boarded up. And what you have here is a cement tile that looks like clay that is fastened with 2 screws at the top of every single one of these tiles. And they're not going anywhere. The flat part of the overhang is referred to as the soffit. And traditionally they put up vinyl or aluminum surfaces that cover this up, and there's not much beef behind it. So if you notice, we've got 2x4s tying the roof back every couple of feet. You've got a vinyl system that allows the roof to breathe while keeping wind-driven rain from penetrating. The unusual thing about the front door here is that it swings out. In most houses, you open the front door, it swings in. By reversing that, you've got the stop helping to secure the door. So it's not going to get, huff and puff, it's not going to get blown in. The glass here in the side light, as well as in all the windows, is impact-resistant glass, which is actually 2 layers of glass that are sandwiching an inner layer of a DuPont product called Butasite, which you can compare it somewhat to windshields in cars. But anyway, you can have a 2x4 hit this thing at 80 miles an hour, and you'll see the impact, but it won't make a hole. The wind will not get through. And that's the other key thing is, in a storm, you want to prevent the wind from getting into the house. Every window opening is formed with a buck, an aluminum buck form, if you will, that provides a lip so that the whole four sides of this window are resting against an edge of concrete that's about 1.5 inches. It's not going to get blown in, is what I'm saying. Between the impact-resistant glass and the frame being right up against the concrete, it's about as sturdy as it can get. The Home Again show airs the week of September 12th all around the country, and that's still kind of the peak of hurricane season, so we're timely. Jim and Teresa, the homeowners, will be able to lounge around and watch their house being built between September and December. It's kind of a cool thing.
And for more information about making your home hurricane resistant, you can go to www.flash.org or call toll-free 877-221-SAFE. And when we return after the headlines, we get your reaction to this hurricane disaster.
Total sense of, utter anguish.